Hello Booktuber, today I'm going to be continuing with my ongoing review of this collection of short stories, Reality and Other Stories by John Lanchester. And today's review will be of the seventh story in the collection, The Kit. The Kit revolves around a farmer called Jareth and his four sons, and they are living on a farm where three of the four sons work, and the fourth, who is the eldest son, has a job in the nearby city. The setting, the country in which the story is set, is never mentioned, and I can't say for certain, but I think it might just be set somewhere in the United States by some of the language that's used. But that, as I say, that I can't be certain of. The story begins with Jareth coming down in the morning to find that the what he calls the unit, which is some kind of robot which does the sort of cooking, cleaning, and general chores of the house, has broken down, and he decides instead of ordering a new unit immediately, he's going to wait a bit and get his sons to do the chores as sort of a life lesson. And so most of the story is taken up with him getting his sons to do this, and him discovering that he's pretty much made a rod for his own back, because he's decided that he's not going to order a new one. He knows that he's pretty much got to do. He's going to have to do more chores than they are, and also they have never learned to cook, so he's got to do all the cooking, and so it becomes clear to him that he's going to have to spend his sort of. It's tiring him out having to keep doing this, and so eventually he sort of gives up and orders a new unit. It arrives, and then he gets his youngest son, Jed, who isn't the sharpest knife in the drawer, to do it. A sort of way of helping him gain confidence. And Jed does put this robot together reasonably well. He gets one mistake, but then that gets sorted out, and then it's built and it's powered up and started. And the story ends with Jareth describing the unit as being blonde and looking 10 years younger than Jareth, and then Jed calls it Mom. And so clearly this is a sort of android, an android woman who's acting as sort of a wife, housekeeper, mother for the family. Overall, I enjoyed the story. It wasn't a ghost story, some kind of some weird story, as with all the others that have been in here. It was interesting. Obviously, it's science fiction. With the other stories, I've said that they were clearly influenced either by writers. So the first story was, to my mind, inspired by Robert Aikman. The second story, I'm convinced, was inspired by M.R. James. The third story, I've got good reason to think it was based on Franz Kafka. And then the other stories are sort of based on, one of them I think is inspired jointly by James Joyce and Arthur C. Clarke. Another one seemed to just be inspired by reality TV itself. And this one, though, I don't know. I don't know what it was inspired by personally. If it was just inspired by, an actual science fiction story, which it may well have done. And my friend Sean D. Sandfast, who has a Booktube channel, I'll leave a link to his channel below, might know what the story is based on from my description. So if he does, if Sean, when you do watch this, because I know you said you would, if you can leave a comment to what you think from my description, it might be influenced. If it's influenced by any writer that you can think of, please leave a comment if you can. Or it might just be inspired by sort of the idea that you're getting a sort of the recent years has been this talk of sort of robot women are sort of women androids are replacing real women, so that might be possibly the sort of thing that inspired it. But as I say, overall, I enjoyed it. It's different from what came before, very much so. Nothing scary or sort of weird about it. Just a very sort of it seemed to be quite a normal science fiction story overall. And so that's the end of the review. I'll be back with you, giving you the final part of the review of this short story with the last story, which is called, I believe it's Charity. Yeah, called Charity. And so I'll give you my review of that tomorrow, and then I'll give you a general roundup of the collection overall. So with that, Booktube, I'll say goodbye.